All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Southeastern 14, another edition of Bets and Ball Games with Edwards and Greeson. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year, Jay. What's happening, man?
Oh, it's great. Do you do New Year
Black Eyed Peas or New Year's
resolutions? Do you do the hey, I'm gonna lose weight? Hey, I'm gonna quit doing crack, or I don't know. What do you do New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, I say pick more damn winners.
Yo, you know what? That's a good resolution.
Yeah, that's my resolution every year. Pick more damn winners. Okay, before we get going, let's remind you about our great friends at Bet Online, which is your top spot for all your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, and NHL are in full swing. Bet Online is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. All the hoops betting action, along with every sport available at your fingertips with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to Bet Online today and remember to use our promo code, all caps, BLEAV. Again, that's all caps, BLEAV. And that promo code will give you a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Where we will start before talking Washington, Michigan, is just recapping a little bit of what we had last week. And as we were speaking in the green room, we both had good college football bowl records, but a little poor money management on both of our parts had us coming out on the L side of things. I'm going to blame that mostly on Bama, but I had been on such a hot streak, I got a little too aggressive with LSU. Yeah, so.
Well, hey, and I'm with you. My biggest bet of the bowl season was Auburn, and they completely crapped their pants. But you also look up though, and have we ever seen a betting trend that has been the LSU over and the Iowa under?
Right.
This year. You and I can remember multiple years ago. You and I have known each other for a long time now. But we were on the Syracuse train because they covered
Dino and
every
Dungy
single week for us. But LSU over was like 12-1. And Iowa under was like 13-2.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines.
12-2. 12-2.
Miraculous.
Yeah, Iowa played 14 games, 12-2, and LSU had one less game. So they were 12-1 to the over, which and I think the best, non-hoops football, I think the best run for me was that 2020 Alabama team when they were, or how many games did they play? Just the 10 SEC championship, and 2 playoffs. So 13. They went 11-2 ATS in the first half. In the first half, I was doing their first half that whole year. That LSU overs were, man. Wisconsin. Everybody's like, where's that Wisconsin offense been all year? Not playing LSU's defense,
right? Right.
Yeah.
Well, your opening sentiments were 100% spot on. Happy New Year, everyone.
But let's talk about
as many winners as we can. And you know what? You and I, hey, it's on us right here.
Yeah.
We've got to scratch a lottery ticket, and we've got to figure out what is the
next
LSU
team
over
in college basketball.
Yes, we've got to figure this out, because I thought and I believe it is Auburn at home.
And we lost
But
by
then,
1 the other night. And I wasn't watching the end.
oh,
What happened at the end? I didn't even go look at the play-by-play because I didn't want to get sick. Oh, was it bad?
oh,
Oh,
no.
because I know they were up.
No, it was
It wasn't that
a,
bad. I
a
mean, they were up
20-point lead with a 21-point spread, and nobody does anything for the last 90 seconds.
I take that back. I did go look at the play-by-play, and I'm sorry, who were they playing?
Penn.
Penn hit 6 of their last 10 shots. I
Yes.
did go back and look at it. And Auburn made some shots too, but yeah, there was no scoring there in the last minute or so. Okay, just real quick on the Alabama-Michigan game, I think the way Michigan's defense came out the first couple of possessions, um, even after Alabama or when Michigan answered after Alabama took a 7-0 lead, from then on, I never felt like Alabama was the right side. And I regret not hedging back more because I hedged a little bit when Alabama took the 4-point lead, 17-13. And then when they went up, and by the way, Reichert, the kicker, who's their like all-time, I think it's the SEC's all-time leading scorer. How money were those kicks? 50 and 52. I remember a Bama friend of mine like a month ago saying, because he missed one against LSU, I think it was, and he's saying he's been slumping. And I go, you can count on him late in the year, though. Yeah, I was like, you come on now. You know you can count on this guy in the big games. And boy, he drilled that 50 and 52-yarder. But I never really felt like Alabama was the right side. I just had a bad feeling the rest of the way after they answered. And then I think Alabama had it. And then, God, the low snaps. My God.
I think big picture, is this the end for Saban?
I was hoping he was going to retire yesterday because that was the 22-year anniversary of Spurrier's resignation.
I mean, if this guy walks into the sunset, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's the best to ever do it, ever. Better than Spurrier, better than Bear, better than anybody else. He is the best all time.
I agree.
But he looked old on the sideline. Like he was like doing the old guy, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on the sideline? And B, how much more can he really want to accomplish?
Okay, I saw him on he does a weekly interview on McAfee's show yesterday, and they were kind of like trying to see, you coming back. I mean, he seemed 100% that he was coming back. Now, of course, he could change his mind in a week or two. And then another side note, because I'm not disputing Saban's goatness, but whenever every time everybody says it, I do just have to point out one little thing, just for the peanut gallery. Spurrier is 3-1 straight up, 4-0 against the spread against him, and a combined score 140-54. But we move on.
Homer,
you like that, didn't you?
Yeah. Homer. I'm an Auburn fan, and I'm saying Saban's the best. And now you're going to just start tossing out Spurrier quotes.
I didn't dispute the goatness of Saban.
Goat.
I'm agreeing.
Saban's a goat.
I agree.
Period. End of conversation.
I
agree. Move on. Let's talk about hoops. Or, hey, let's talk about – I love Washington.
So do I. Well, I like them. I will love them if I see video footage of Dylan Johnson moving around pretty good, because they're saying he's going to play. But, I mean, he did just get carted off, 7 days before. And part of my saying that is this, as I've got – is this the wrong damn notebook? Anyway, their backups have very little usage. Where in the hell is my other notebook?
All right. See, here's the thing, though, with that.
Mm-hmm.
if your money running back in a winner take all game is not on the field, and you've got Michael Penix Jr. as your quarterback, so you're going to now run less and throw more
Not
and put
necessarily
the
a bad
ball
thing.
in his hands?
Not necessarily a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing at all.
I hear you. However, I do want to point this out. Look, I like Washington. I'm not trying to talk anybody off of Washington, but their second leading rusher behind Johnson for Washington, Tybo Rogers, 38 carries, 163 yards. Next, Will Nixon, 31 carries, 194 yards. That is very low usage for RB2 and RB3. And another thing, Dylan Johnson, and by the way, here's his stats: 1,113 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns, 5.5 yards per carry, and he can catch it out of the backfield. He played for Leach for several years, and but he's one of the best per Pro Football Focus. He's one of the best pass blocking running backs. And with the way Michigan got after and dominated Alabama's O line, but now Washington's got a great O line.
O-line, great.
Yeah. So look, I still like Washington. I'll like them more. I'll be more confident if I see Dylan Johnson. Maybe, hopefully tomorrow or Sunday, it's some practice video footage of him moving around pretty good. I like them. I love them if Dylan Johnson plays and he's 90%
Hey,
healthy.
Brian, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How much do you think the line's now like 4.5?
I'll get there. Go ahead. Keep talking.
What at what number does that change your opinion? I mean, because the magic number is always 3, but
okay, Bet Online is at 4.5 with a total of 56.5, and pretty much everybody's 4.5 except for a couple of our books in Las Vegas that we like. But
what do you think about the over/under? I mean, you said it's 56.5. What do you think about that total?
I would not play over unless I could get 56, or I guess I could buy the half point. But I just like Washington better, so I don't know what. I do have a prop I like. I like Penix over 297.5 passing yards. He's had 302 or more in 10 of 14 games. And a couple of games when he didn't have it were in November where he had a rib injury. And I don't, they weren't throwing it quite as much, and I think he was bothered by that rib injury. I think he's 100% healthy right now. So I do like now I'll be on Washington for more, and I'll probably have a little money line. Let's see what Bet Online's money line return is while you talk more about it, if you wish.
Well, I'm 100% on Washington, especially getting the 4.5 over the magic number that is the 3 in all conversations. But I love every Penix prop. I actually think over is a great play here, because while I trust Washington's offensive line, I think Michigan's going to run the ball down their throat. So this game could be 28-28
going into the fourth quarter. Yeah. So will you dabble plus 170 money line for a touch?
Oh, on Washington? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're on the same page, which is bad news if you think about the Alabama-Michigan game. But let's remind everyone that we were also both on Washington last week as well.
Over Texas, both not only with the spread,
money line
as well. Money line.
Yes, indeed. We were. Okay, let's go SEC basketball. And then here a little later, I don't have many NFL plays, and man, week 18 in NFL is just like the bowl season. It's just like you got to find out who's going to.
And you know what though? I mean, and I meant to write this today in my daily column at the Times Free Press. That is the 5 at 10. everybody bemoans the bowl game opt-outs. Week 18 of the NFL season, sweet buckets, everybody's opted out.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's well, I feel like we're just a continuation of the handicapping of the non-CFP bowl games.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Hey, let's talk SEC hoops.
Yep, let's do it. Although I want to add one last thing. DeBoer at Washington has been an underdog 5 times, won outright all 5 times. Going back to his last year at Fresno as a head coach, DeBoer 7-0 against the 7-0 against the spread with 6 outright wins. His last 7 as dog. All right, SEC hoops. We'll start it with Bama at Vandy tomorrow. So we don't have lines yet, but we can go by the KenPom projections. And normally I'll have my own line, but I need to watch a little more to feel good about the lines I create. Like there's still some team, like I haven't seen much of Ole Miss, haven't seen hardly any of LSU or Missouri, etc. So I need to watch a little more. And now that football's in, and this is when I really dial in on watching. So let's go. Bama at Vandy. KenPom has it Bama minus 17, a total of 161. When they played last year, Bama won 101-44. But then after that, Vandy got hot and was a spread covering machine the rest of the season. And Vandy just played very tough at Memphis 2 games ago. And then they covered and blew out somebody, I want to say Dartmouth, last time out. So maybe, because they had a lot of guys missing time. And I'm not implying they're going to pull an upset here, but I think 17 is too many. I'm not saying I'm going to bet Vandy, but I would be careful laying bet. Look, this is what I've been doing with Bama all year, and it's been very successful. It hasn't won every time. It lost against Ohio State. But I play Bama's first half team totals over and their team total for the game over. And it has been hitting at a very, very strong clip. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, presuming, well, it's got the 161. So that's got their projection. Let's see. And I'm about to give you the floor, my man. Let's see. One moment. I'm right here. Okay. So it's got Alabama's team total projected at 89. If it's 89 or less, I will be on that over. And if it's like 48 or less in the first half, I'll be on that over. So that's what I like for Bama Vandy, 17 and 161. Thoughts?
I mean, wow. You just unloaded a whole lot of stats and intelligence on everybody.
Hey, this is the new LSU over. Bama team totals over.
Hey, Vandy at home getting 17.
That's a lot.
I'll take Vandy. I mean, I know Alabama's good, but they're not that good.
Stackhouse.
Vandy at home? That's a
big
tough place to play.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I imagine it's not a sellout right now with the way they've been playing.
No, they're not going to sell out squat. I mean, there are hookers walking up and down like I-65, and they're not going to sell out. I mean, nobody's selling out Vandy right now. So, God bless. But 17 at home in a conference game?
After Vandy just played 2 of its best games. Now, their big guy, the Notre Dame transfer, Vin Allen Lubin, is listed as questionable with a groin injury, but I think he was questionable with a groin injury before the Memphis game, and he played well. He's averaging 10.9 points, 5.4 rebounds, 1.0 blocks per game. So if Van Lubin plays, I agree with Vandy, but most of my bankroll for this game, if you will, is going to be on Bama's team totals over. And until those...
Hey, Bama's going to score. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Nate Oates pushes. And I appreciate that. I love his style of basketball. I truly do.
Yeah, they're number 3 in pace and number 1 in offensive efficiency per KenPom. Okay, noon Eastern tomorrow. We got Mississippi State at South Carolina. South Carolina's undefeated at home, 5-3 against the spread. South Carolina's 12-1 overall, 10-3 against the spread. Now they haven't played the toughest schedule. They're only 61 at KenPom. The projection is Mississippi State -1 with a total of 139, and Mississippi State's all SEC stud center Tolu Smith, who had been out all year so far, made his debut on New Year's Eve against Bethune-Cookman. He only played 19 minutes, but he had 16 points, 9 boards, 1 block, 5 for 5 from the field, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Now, I don't know where his cardio is. I don't know if he's going to, I imagine he'll get more minutes, maybe up to 25. But South Carolina's obviously pretty good. I haven't really seen them, so I don't have much feel for this game here at all.
Well, the X factor is the Mississippi State big man that you mentioned. But I love South Carolina. Their only losses against Clemson in a rock fight of a basketball game. And I love their coach, Lamont Parrish, who used to be here at Chattanooga.
Right.
So if I'm going to err here, I'm putting money on the home team getting a point and maybe even doing it on the money line, because I think South Carolina is about to be excited about basketball.
Yeah. And they were playing better at the end of the season last year as well. And remember they gave that Alabama the scare that game. And I like that point guard who transferred from Ohio State. All right, let's go to Theodome, Kentucky at Florida, where I looked up some very depressing stats on the head-to-head rivalry. This is 12:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm guessing CBS, but I could be wrong on that. Okay, head-to-head, Kentucky has, oh gosh, where did I put it? Maybe I decided not to write it down because it pissed me off so bad. Oh, wait. I can't find it. Okay. Kentucky's beaten Florida a lot lately. a lot. At least 5 in a row at the O-Dome. And anyway, Kentucky is -1 at KenPom with a total of 171, which I believe is the highest total I ever remember the Florida Gators ever having. Now, the over is 9-3-1 overall for Florida. It's on a 3-0 run, and the over's on a 9-1 run for Kentucky, which is number 16 in the country in pace. Florida's number 11 in pace. Kentucky's number 8 in offensive efficiency. Florida's number 31. And Kentucky's won 4 in a row straight up in ATS since they lost to UNC Wilmington. And Florida's won 6 in a row, but the schedule's really lightened up for my Gators here in recent weeks. In fact, the only top 100 win was over number 62 Michigan. And by the way, Juwan Howard might get fired any minute now. That team is a mess. But any thoughts on Kentucky and Florida?
The only way you can bet this game is either over the total or on Kentucky. Florida can't beat Kentucky. They can't.
Not recently.
No. And I think Kentucky is one of those teams. I will always bet Auburn at home, even though they were a 21-point favorite against Penn a handful of days ago, and they only won 88-68. So yes, it was a kidney punch. Yeah, a kidney punch. But you've only got to make the smart bets, right? You can only make the bets that you know you need to make. And in that regard, Kentucky is the only play here. If you want to play the over, play the over. I get that. But if you're going to play a side, even if you are Brian Edwards and you are a tried and true Florida Gator lover,
who's having his patience tested.
He will look into the screen and tell you the only play is the Kentucky Wildcats.
I'm not gonna push back on that. I'm not. Although I am optimistic about this Gator team, and I like the team. But we've taken too many ass beatings from Kentucky lately for me to imply that the Gators are the play. I probably will not be playing it, and I doubt that projection on the total is going to be that high. But if it is, I would not do the over. I mean, 85-84 would be a loss on a 171 point total if you go over. So I think it's Kentucky or pass, and it'll be a pass for me. All right, a little scrub game here, but actually I shouldn't say that because Georgia is on an 8-game winning streak, although it hasn't been against much tough competition. But Georgia 10-3. I doubt they've been 10-3 in a minute at Missouri. Missouri struggling 8-5 straight up, 4-9 against the spread at home. Missouri 6-2 straight up, 2-6 against the spread. Georgia's only played one road game, and it was a doozy. They were down 17 to FSU with about 17 minutes left and rallied and won. And yeah, but their only real W's this year are at FSU and versus Georgia Tech. And I just watched a scrub game between those teams the other night. Ken Palm's got Mizzou -3 and 145. Any thoughts? And I don't think I've seen Mizzou. I don't think I've seen them play all year, so I don't have any feel whatsoever.
Pass.
Well said. On to the next. All right, 2 p.m. Eastern, Auburn at Arkansas. And again, Ken Palm's line is not always going to be right, but it's really close. So I'm asking you, I was a little surprised by this line. What do you think or the line should be? Because, I mean, this is your area of expertise. Auburn, now you also know Bud Walton, and Arkansas has kind of struggled. And Khalif Battle's questionable with an ankle. He left the last game early. He averages 14.3 points per game. Hogs have won 4 of the last 5 against Auburn, although they split last year. And here's another one for you. Over is 11-2 overall for the Hogs, and over is 8-0 for the Hogs at home. But any thoughts on what you think the line would be? And then I'll tell you what it is, and we'll know what you like on the side.
Well, I don't know what the Ken Palm number may be. I don't know a lot of the Vegas folks have not released numbers yet. If you're going to play a side, you have to play over because Auburn runs. Auburn's going to wear their ass out. Period. End of conversation.
That's what the projection says too. It's got. What do you think Auburn should be favored by?
7.
Wow, they're favored by 5. Arkansas is not a 5-point underdog at home very often. I know they're not having as good a year as they would like, and one of their top scorers is questionable.
Hey, Auburn's the best team in the SEC. Period. End of conversation. Write it down.
Yeah.
January 3rd, January 5th, whatever day we are in. Tennessee is flawed. Kentucky is young. Florida is trying to find itself. Auburn is 10 deep and will run you through everything. And I love how they play. And Hey, yes, I graduated from there. So, okay, tell me I'm a homer all you want.
I'm not
Watch
pushing
them
back.
play. Watch them play.
Oh, I've watched. Yeah, no, they're good. I know they're good. They're real good. I'm not pushing back on that. I will just say though that Ken Palm's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 6 SEC teams in the top 28. Got 3 in the top 10. Bama, Vols, and Auburn are all in the top 10. But yeah, I don't trust Tennessee come March. They go 5-minute stretches without finding a bucket. Same thing
Right.
happened to them in the round of 32 against Michigan 2 years ago, and then it eventually got them. Who did they lose to? FAU last year.
And Alabama can't guard. I mean,
Right.
Alabama. I mean,
And if you live by
sure. Hey,
you live by the 3 in March, you're gonna die by the 3 in March.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm not pushing back on that. Okay, so you like Auburn. We're thinking it'll be -5. And the total will be 157 based on, again, the Vegas numbers could be off on this, but roughly 157-ish.
Scoring high, Auburn wins big.
Okay. I would need to study that total before taking the over, but the over being 8-0 at home and the way I know the pace will be, I'll be looking to the over perhaps. Okay. 6 p.m. Eastern, Ole Miss at Tennessee. So Ole Miss is undefeated. Now they really haven't played anybody that good here. I'll tell you their best wins. Their best wins at home by 20 over NC State, who's 77 at Ken Palm, at home to Memphis, who's 39 at Ken Palm. But Memphis got the transfer, the long kid, Naquan Tomlin, who was a key player for Kansas State with Keontae and the little guy last year making to the Elite Eight. Memphis has added him in the last 2 games, I think. They're a lot higher than number 39, but they didn't have him when they played Ole Miss. And Ole Miss won at number 76, UCF. Everybody else is, outside of Ken Palm's top 150, except for 128 Eastern Washington. So Ole Miss at Tennessee. I still thought this number was a little rich, though. Ken Palm's projections got Tennessee 14, a total of 144. And I'll just point out a couple of little numbers here. Tennessee's won 3 in a row in the rivalry and 8 of the last 9. The overs on a 4-2-1 run for the Vols last 7. The overs on a 7-3 run for Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is covered in 5 in a row and 7 of the last 8. My first thought is, and no injuries on either side. My first thought is, that's too many for me to turn down with an undefeated team and one of the best coaches in the country.
I completely agree, but I actually, this popped into my head just as you were talking. Do we undervalue just betting on a team to win? Do we? I mean, I know the odds are terrible.
Talk
I mean,
about money
like
line?
so like Tennessee to win this game at home is probably what, like minus 750?
No. Plus 14, the underdog is probably, oh my gosh, the underdog is probably plus 750. So I would think
So I
Tennessee would
mean,
have to be minus like 1,400 or 1,500. And
well,
I
I
could
mean,
be off a
and
little.
and I'm wondering if we shouldn't just plow through figuring out ways to just,
You talking about Tennessee money line bet?
yeah.
Oh no, I would never do that. I would never risk 1,500 to win 100. I wouldn't. I'm not saying if you do it over the long run that it couldn't be profitable, but Tennessee's offense, they have too many offensive duds for me. Not just this year, and actually not as much this year because they got that real big time scorer Connect, who came from, I believe, Northern Colorado. But I don't. like even back when I bet baseball, I wouldn't even bet like minus 200 on a game. So I don't think so, but we could track it and we can see.
No. That's my conversation here
Right.
because I don't mean if you're going to play this one, you've got to take Ole Miss in the points. You have to.
Right. I'd rather do that than yeah.
But I mean, I just was it. You were talking about it, and Tennessee is great defensively, and there are a whole lot of things. But when we start trying to find edges and avenues that we want to play,
I'm following you here. I got finish that thought, and I got a suggestion.
I mean, if we just played winners or losers, I'm just curious on how that would be. I mean, and I know we're giving up great odds. We're giving up huge odds.
The way to do it is money line parlays. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like find like 5 or like look it down the board on a Saturday, and you say, okay, I know the odds suck, but I know these 7 teams are all winning outright. And then you package them in a money line parlay where each doesn't have to cover any spreads, just win outright. That's how you could do it. But I mean, let's, you know,
could that not be the same on a Saturday in college basketball?
Oh yeah, totally, of course.
Kansas is going to like take somebody into Cole Fieldhouse and they're going to baptize them, right, and never the twain shall meet. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm not against money. I do money line parlay. In fact, I hit a 5-teamer in NBA the other night. Now, when I say a 5-teamer, it was all expensive money line. It wasn't that good a payout. I mean, I think it was like plus 180 payout.
And there were only two or three strippers involved. I mean, if you're talking about a 5-teamer,
pre-game or post-game,
strippers.
Pre-game or post-game. I think the over/under is a little low there. If we're going pre-game and post-game, it might be 8 strippers.
Well, that's all right. Hey, cinnamon to the main stage. Cinnamon to the main stage.
Destiny to the side stage. Destiny to the side stage. All right, let's go. Okay, so we both agree you got to take Ole Miss plus the points.
Yep.
All right, this is not a great game because LSU's not good. LSU at A&M. Ken Palm's got A&M 13, the total 147, and 3 guys.
If you're betting on this one, then
don't bet LSU.
Yeah, just don't bet. Just don't bet. Go find a better game. You don't know anything about either of these teams. We don't know anything about either of these teams.
Well, I know A&M's pretty good. They're pretty good. Let's see. What are they in Ken Palm? A&M is 22 in Ken Palm.
You like Buzz Who's Bridges?
I love Buzz Williams. You don't?
He ain't Bruce Pearl.
He ain't Bruce Pearl. He ain't never been to a Final Four. In fact, I think he's only been. I know the Gators baptized his ass at Marquette in a Sweet 16 game one time when Jay Crowder was on that team. All right. So anyway, just for those listeners that do want to bet it, I will point out Tyrese Radford for A&M. He averages 12.1 points, 4.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists. He's questionable. 3 guys for LSU, 2 that are important players, have an illness. Does that mean LSU's entire team has an illness? I have no idea. But yeah, I wouldn't bet on LSU. That's certainly not what I would do. Okay, so in review.
If they've got an illness, then let me just unload a dad joke right here.
Let's go.
We have flew right through this. What? What? Come on.
All right. All right, I got a couple NFL picks, and I know it's hard this week, but you know exactly where I'm going to start.
No. First pick has got to be please, dear Lord, fire Arthur Smith.
Right. And on that note, the Saints is my first pick.
Of course.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if it's at 3.5 because, or obviously I want to find what it is with our good friends at Bet Online because I got 3 early in the week. I felt like last night quite a few books had moved to 3.5. All right, here we go. Oh no, maybe, or they were at 3.5 last night. Who are these idiots putting money on Atlanta to get this number back to 3? But we won't complain. Bet Online has got the Falcons, or I'm sorry, the Saints as 3-point favorites, a total of 41.5. Jay and I love New Orleans.
Oh, love New Orleans.
Love. I mean,
big hugs.
Put Arthur Smith out of his misery, please. Oh, he's so horrible.
I actually posted this on Twitter today. I mean, how many times do we see names that like are trending or whatever else on Twitter or social media, and you think, oh my goodness, I hope Dale Murphy didn't die. I hope Robert De Niro didn't die, and all these other people. And gladly, none of them have passed. I saw Arthur Smith's name trending on Twitter, and I was praying he got fired today. Alas, no. We as Falcons fans must suffer.
Yeah. So I retweeted that with a remark that I'll just let you enjoy when you get back to Twitter at some point today. Or do you want me to read it to you now?
Hey, you know what? Hey, you're over there. You're like the pilot standing next to Admiral Akbar in the
you're kind of freezing
headset
up
on next to in one of the Return of the Jedis or whatever else it is. It's a trap. I mean, so you be you, brother. You be you.
All right, here was my reply to your. I go when an entire fan base literally wants its team to lose and Tampa Bay to win at Carolina just in case we win at New Orleans. Even if a W potentially gets it to the playoffs, because making the postseason and retaining Arthur will further delay any semblance of real success. What are we even doing? I mean, we don't want to make the playoffs because we know if we do, they're going to keep this clown, and it's just going to delay any semblance of real. I mean, winning the NFC, all 4 of these coaches in the NFC South should be fired this year. Well, the Carolina guy already has been. Todd Bowles is terrible. Arthur Smith's awful. Dennis Allen is awful. Who's the worst? We should power rate the worst coaches in this. Well, Arthur's the worst, but Dennis Allen and Bowles are not far behind, and they're neck and neck. They're both bad.
I didn't mean to set you off. I'm just figuring out what I'm about to have for lunch.
All right.
And the next thing you know, you mushroom cloud into this.
You got me going on Arthur, man.
Hey, Ric Flair, you be you.
Woo! I mean, I hate Arthur Smith as much as Napier.
Hey, do you really?
Maybe even more so. But look, I mean, I want them both gone, like immediately. But Arthur Smith drives me bonkers. Napier is a good guy, I think. He's just in over his head. It was just a terrible hire. But I think he puts forth the effort. He's just a we got all kind of names for him.
Well, hey, let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, friend or foe?
Oh my God. Friend. I follow like all these Twitter accounts that just constantly throw out his diatribes from the 80s.
Yes, 100%.
Love it.
love everything about, I mean, there are few people, and granted, he's not number one on the list, but there are few people. If I could have dinner with someone, Ric Flair is going to be in the top 10 of my list.
Charles Barkley, Larry Bird, Ric Flair,
Spurrier. Did I tell you my Spurrier story?
I'm not sure.
Early on in my days being a sports journalist, I went to the SEC Media Days back when they still had the golf tournament. The coaches played with the sports writers and yada, yada, yada. I was in Spurrier's group.
How many are the group? 4?
There were 4 of us. I don't remember who else was in there. I cannot tell you how nervous I was. And
you didn't bring up You didn't bring up Patrick Nixon, Frank Sanders that day, did you? Damn it!
No.
Okay, good.
No. So I underhit my driver on the first tee. So the ball went straight up in the air and went like, I don't know, 45 yards. And Spurrier looked at me dead in the face and said, "That's like an elephant's butt, high and stinky." I honestly thought I was about to start crying. I really did.
Did you play better? Did he get on you the whole round?
Oh my God. I played great the rest of the round, but I mean, he motivated me.
There you go. Hey, you know what? That's what everybody always thought about. He's an offensive mastermind. I was always like, he's the best motivator there is. That's what I always thought about.
I love Spurrier. I will forever love Coach Spurrier.
No doubt about it. All right, I got one more NFL pick, and then we're going to wrap this bad boy up. I just do not – first off, the Patriots have beaten the Jets 15 games in a row. They've covered against them 6 in a row. They beat their ass in the Meadowlands earlier this year. This is Belichick's last game at Gillette. New England has finally found a pulse in the last month. They've won 2 of their last 4. They won at Pittsburgh. They won at Denver. And they're 4-0 against the spread their last 4. And then the 4 before that, back in November, it wasn't on the defense. They lost a game 10-6 to the Colts. They lost a game 10-7 to the Giants. They lost a game 6-0 to the Chargers and 20-17 to the Commanders. So the defense has been playing well for 2 months. Give me the Pats, who played Buffalo tough, only lost 27-21 at Orchard Park last week as a 14.5-point dog. And that was with the Bills getting a pick 6 and Bailey Zappi throwing 3 total interceptions. So Pats and the Saints are the picks I like in the NFL. Anything from you on the NFL?
Nope.
All right. Tell them about 5 at 10 and Jay's plays.
5 at 10 at timesfreepress.com. You can see it every Monday through Friday. We've got Jay's Plays is my afternoon gambling daily email newsletter. Other than missing a couple of basketball picks the last couple of days, we were this close to being plus 100 units in 14 months. We were this close, but
have you not gotten to the 100-unit mark?
We have not gotten to the 100-unit mark. We're still grinding to get there.
You have been in the 80 to 90 plus unit range.
We're still plus 97 units, but damn it, the Bucks have kind of hit me with a couple of kidney punches. But hey, here's the thing. enjoy
Kentucky.
Southeastern 14.
Oh,
Brother, hey, have a great new year. We are good. There are great things happening in the future. Deal?
deal. Indeed. All right. So you can find all my content at majorwager.com. All my picks either on my Twitter or at Vegas Insider. Thanks to Bet Online. Thanks to Southeastern 14. Another edition of Bets and Ball Games with Edwards and Greeson is in the books. Y'all have a great week. Good luck with your bets. Over and out.